I would like to.
I was reading Rudy's book, and he talked about if there's a hole in the chakra, it's like having a hole in the tire of your car. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a good tire, like even a small hole is like a blowout. And he referred that to the like having a hole in the in a shop, any of the chakras. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, Wendy, that's what has to really be repaired, because just about everybody has holes in their chakras. Just about everybody, the Shakti, the energy of chakras is leaking out of them because they haven't enough development inside to maintain the inner strength it takes to keep the chakra system open. So what he was talking about is a universal condition which exists in just about every human being. And the nature of the work we do is repairing that hole, repairing that damage that has been done because of tension, because of insecurity, problems, that rack the inner condition of human beings. It all has to be repaired. And that's what this meditation practice is for. It's to fix those holes. I mean, if you have a hole in your tire, you got to go to a mechanic and get it repaired. Basically, I'm a mechanic. What I do is I help repair the holes that are in people's chakras. And how do those holes come about? Ego, mind, tension. People are racked with tension, insecurity, fear. It eats away at the chakra system. I know when a baby is born, the chakra system is pretty whole. As it gets older and it's exposed to the whole, very nature of life, the tensions that develop inside people eat up the chakra system, create holes in the chakra system. And then you got to do meditation, you got to get acupuncture, you got to get massage, you got to, go to doctors, and there's uppers and downers and all kinds of stuff that people do in order to fix, the holes in their chakras, and that really is the underlying condition for most of the craziness that goes on in the world. And that is the nature of this work that we do. It's repairing the chakra system. And in order to repair the chakra system, you have to go deep enough inside and do something that is strong enough to develop, a system inside you that can connect with higher energy in the universe. That is the healing energy, higher energy in the universe, whatever you want to call it, God, it's the healing energy, but you've got to build a system inside that enables you to do that. Otherwise, we spend our lives with punctured chakras. And if you want to look out at the world, just turn on CNN. You will see, a world of punctured chakras. Basically, all the madness they report is just punctured chakras. That people can't function in a quiet, harmonious way because their system is just, literally been destroyed inside by tension, by mind, by ego, by being right, by having to outdo the other person, having to be more powerful than somebody else. I mean, it's all madness. And that's what destroys the chakra system. And it does it at very early ages, because all of us are born whole. I mean, look how sweet kids are, infants are. I mean, they come out, you just want to kiss them and hug them. They're so delicious. It's because the whole system, the system is whole inside them. And then we teach them how to live. And it really punctures their entire inner life. But it's, it's kind of like the Bible, you come from, paradise and, come out of paradise, and then you spend this incredible tone figuring out how to get back to how to get the Messiah to come to the world again, And it basically is a metaphor for the way every human being lives, an extraordinary metaphor. And what Rudy, pinpointed was the real disease that goes on inside people. It's chakra systems that have malfunctioned, that don't work. Why don't they work? People have not developed them. They lost it at birth. It was paradise lost at birth. And they haven't spent the time, the energy, the work on themselves to develop a system inside that is strong enough to connect them once again with higher energy, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if you want to define hell, it really is chakra systems that are punctured. And it creates all the craziness that goes on in the world. And then our work here, the meditation, and thank God it's not the only thing in the world that can help fix this, It's the purpose of it is to fix this problem. It's to get the tires working again. I mean, I hope that's clear, and maybe it'll give you a deeper understanding of why we do this. You have to do something. Otherwise, how do you get free of the madness that goes on in the world? Does anyone else, I hope that's clear, does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. I love your questions, Wendy. They really bring out some really amazing stuff that we all have to learn. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And just to finish this, every day that you take this chakra system that's punctured for granted and you don't do something about it, it just makes it more and more difficult to finally fix it. We have to work on ourselves every day. That really is the key to it. Otherwise, it's just, procrastination. We just, we think we're going to live forever, and we don't. Then we got to come back again and try to fix the chakra system again. So, taking it for granted, assuming, it does nothing but prolong that internal agony, of that lack of balance, that lack of an open heart, quiet mind, capable of using sexual energy, to activate Kundalini and allow ourselves to have a spiritual life. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Hi, Stuart. So that explains when we feel flat or when we feel energy escaping, leaking, then that makes a lot of sense. So thank you for that. And is there a point where you remember, or in doing this practice, we remember when our chakra was whole? Is there a part
Paula, I don't want to interrupt, but Paul, you don't have to remember that. What's the point of remembering that? Because everything in the past is a shadow, doesn't exist anymore. The whole point is not to remember when the chakra system was whole. It's to build it inside that you live within a whole chakra system in the present. Then you don't have to remember all that stuff. You're living it. You have done the work in yourself to develop a system inside that enables you to completely be here in the present. living with a whole chakra system. And there's no need to remember when. What's the point? Because all of that is in the past. You know, we want to live in the present. How do you live in the present? You got to do the effort to develop that chakra system. That enables you to live in the present. And when you can live in the present, you know, your energy doesn't drain into, you know, some image of what the past was. We can never, you know, it's like looking through a glass darkly. You never can completely see what the past was. You see the past in terms of your reality in the present. So the whole point of remembering that is, it doesn't make any sense to me. But the point of building and working on yourself and developing a system inside that can enable you to live with a whole chakra system in this moment, that makes a lot of sense to me, because then it becomes living experience. You are a child of God. You have truly, you know, grown inside yourself to where you completely are connected with spiritual energy. And, you know, it's just something I talk about a lot. You know, the past is dead. The future hasn't come yet. The only thing we have is the present. And very few people live in the present. You know, they're guilty for what they've done in life and, you know, making themselves crazy about the mistakes they made in the past, worried about the future, what the future is going to bring. And between all of that, it's like an insane ping pong match we play with ourselves. We forget about the one thing that's real, and that's living in the present. You know, all those books, The Power of Now, Be Here Now. I mean, basically, that's what they're talking about, is learning how to build an inner life that gets you strong enough to live your life in the present. And then you don't have to remember all that stuff. You know, why clog up your mind with all of that stuff when you're a living example of God's energy manifesting on the earth?
I agree. I appreciate that, Stuart. I've heard other teachers speak about remembering, so I appreciate very much your explanation.
Well, sometimes other teach, I don't know. I don't know what they teach. I just know it comes through me, you know, and I've always believed what other people teach, they teach. Spending your time on the past is basically, it's almost like a waste of time. Building a life to live in the moment. You know, because honestly, I always believe, how do we see the past based upon the way we live our life in this moment? And if our life is clear and connected with spirit and we're living in the now, understand, we don't have to look at the past. We become a living example, become God's child living in the world. So I don't, you know, I don't know what other teachers teach. And I've had enough teachers in my life to understand the profundity of being in the moment. Living in the moment. And, you know, if what other teachers teach work for you and memories of the past help you, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but the whole goal of that is to get strong enough so that you can live your life in the moment, in the now. Not to just think about the past and try to figure it out and what I did wrong and how can I fix it? You know, you can fix it by building a chakra system that's strong enough to detach yourself from all of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? And I'm not trying to put down what other people teach, you know? If going to a therapist and going through all of that stuff about the past and if it helps you to live your life better in the moment, fine, do it, you know? But it's not the point of living in the past. But if conjuring up all that stuff gives you, inspiration and how to live your life better in the moment, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Because the whole point of all of this, what I do, what other people do, should be teaching people how to get strong enough to live in the now, to be here now, in this moment. Because frankly, we don't really have anything else. And it just slips by us so easily. Because the only thing that we have that's real is the now. Past doesn't exist anymore. The future hasn't come yet. What do we have? The now. So we got to learn how to live in this moment. And the fastest way I've learned to do this is just developing a chakra system inside that is strong enough to do three things: to connect with spirit, to be able to live in the world karmically with love, with joy, with compassion, and to activate Kundalini, because that's the pathway to enlightenment. And the only way you can do these three things that I know of is the development of a chakra system inside that punctures all the holes, that fixes all the holes inside, the holes that Rudy talked about. And we have all the tools to do this. You understand? We have minds, we have breath, we have chakras, we have will, we have needs. All of those are tools that can enable us to do this. It's just a matter of learning the craft. And meditation is simply a craft. That's all it is. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I think life is so simple and so deep, same time, I think.
You have to repeat that, Atsuko. I didn't understand.
Yeah, I thought as you say that life is very simple and
Yeah.
so deep, so mysterious and amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome, dear. You're welcome. Atsuko, the first time I met you, I saw you entertaining. I knew that you were like a spiritual sister to me. I knew it then. I knew someday this was going to come together. I knew it. First time I saw you entertain.
Thank you.
So bless you, and bless you for being here.
Bless you.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, Stuart Perrin signing off from Mexico.
Really? Wow. Mexico.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's amazing. Look, I'm a technological aardvark, I really mean, I see my daughter sit in front of a computer in seconds. Me, it takes hours, but it's a miracle to be able to be here in San Miguel Allende, Mexico, and to do these classes with all. It's just a miracle. This is a gift of God, and I'm so grateful that this exists and that one can do this and have classes no matter where one is. All you need is Wi-Fi, and the classes can exist anywhere in the world. Extraordinary.
Well, you are in Mexico now.
Yes.
Wow. Amazing.
Yes, I'm in Mexico.
Wow.
Does anyone else have a question they would like?
Would you recommend living in San Miguel?
I like it here a lot. I really do. This place is so charming. And I've always been a big fan of third world countries. I really have been. I like marketplaces. I like, that whole feeling of the third world. And you're just inundated with it here. And I like it a lot. I don't know if I'm going to live here. I have a beautiful house here. I'll show you. Look at this place. I don't know if you can see it. But just
Oh,
look at this.
wow. Oh
It's
my God.
unbelievable,
Beautiful.
gardens, and there's an upstairs with terraces. It costs me less money than it does to live in where I live in Connecticut, to have a house like this. It's beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to live here, but I'm enjoying it now. I really am thoroughly enjoying it.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And if I do decide to come and stay, people, Airbnbs are very inexpensive here. And people can come for a week and do meditation and have in-person classes. That's wherever I live, whether it's here, whether I don't know where, but I mean, there are places I'd like to live, but I can't, Marrakesh, south of France, Bombay, Mumbai, maybe, that's a little too much. But, but this is a charming place here. It's really nice.
Thank you.
So glad.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes.
Yeah, I always am very moved when you talk about how doing this inner work, that you are getting younger inside, and when you master this work, you can accomplish all the tasks. There's always time to do everything, and
Well, it's true, Larry. It's really true. I mean, look, if I ever sat down and wrote an autobiography of my life, it would probably be 6,000 pages long. And the reason for that is because of this meditation. It enabled me to do so much. It enabled me to live on the edge for a long time, where I could step into the unknown and not be afraid to step into the unknown, where life became an incredible adventure. And that's what it should be, I mean, I'm not saying, people need homes and they need places to come back to, and that's really important. I need that also. But the adventure of it, the openness to be able to not have, look, I'm not a kid anymore, for God's sake. Here I am, at my age, saying, okay, maybe I'll move to Portugal, maybe I'll move to Mexico. I feel like I'm 29 years old doing all these kind of things. And yes, it just gives you a strength to overcome fear. Overcome fear. To be able to live life and allow it to be a kind of adventure. And the greatest adventure of all, honestly, is connecting with God. I mean, that's the ultimate unknown. And in order to have a spiritual life, we have to build an inner life that is strong enough to do this. So, the journey of karma, the journey to God, opening the doors that lead on that path, it's all part of that adventure of life. It's like Rudy said it so simply. He said, life is a smorgasbord, and I want to eat from every dish on the table. I don't want there to be anything here I have to come back for. And that's the kind of thing that scares the hell out of most people. But it's something that's important, to have that kind of openness, to be willing to step into the unknown. Not to turn your back on your families, on your jobs, but psychically, spiritually, having the capacity inside to step into the unknown. And then it manifests in your life, Listen, I mean, I might sound like a kind of adventurer, but I'm very, look, my daughter asked me to spend a year with her. And I said, okay, I will go and I will support you. And it about a year and a half now, and she's literally, the love I have for her, the support I'm willing to give her financially and otherwise, has helped her put her life together on an amazing level. So it's not doing this promiscuously, you know? It's taking care of all your responsibilities, and at the same time, having that sense of adventure inside, that sense of being willing to step into the unknown. And it all works together, because you can't turn your back on your responsibilities. How does one turn their back on their parents, their children, the people in their lives, on your job, what you do? But it's that growing, that living in the now, that presence that enables you to transform whatever you do into something that's miraculous. It's all sacred. You know, everything in this universe is a manifestation of God. It's all sacred. And if we live that way, you know, we really are living in God's playground. So what I talk about is not a promiscuous thing. It's an extension of reality, being able to step out of the confines and at the same time take care of all your responsibilities. I mean, look, I'm here in San Miguel de Allende. There are a lot of expatriates that live here, and a lot of them hang out in bars, and, you know, I could be there doing that, but I'm here doing this because this is my responsibility. My responsibility is to God, to Spirit, to trying to help people grow in their lives, help people open deeply inside to build their own spiritual lives. That's why I'm here. At the same time, I'm in Mexico, you know. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I have another question that came up based on what you were just talking about, Stuart.
Yes.
Caring for the people in your life. What could you say to speak to caring for a loved one who isn't necessarily doing work? Let's say they're in a state of a lot of suffering that's apparent. You know, just speaking to actually helping someone, if possible, that isn't.
Well, the only thing I can answer to that is that person could make you grow enormously in yourself. To love them unconditionally and to just let them be and love them. Learn how to get big enough that you can love that person, you know, and love them unconditionally. You will have to get so big inside, it'll do incredible, you know, things to help you in your spiritual development. You know, look, you know how many people I've had in my life? Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And every person that comes in my life, there's a place in my heart for them. And I will do whatever is possible I can, as long as they're willing to do something for themselves. You know, I will do whatever I can to help them to grow. When it came to my mother, she didn't have to do spiritual practice. She was my mother. God bless her, you know? And my work was to love her unconditionally. The same way with my daughter, love her unconditionally. So it's you that grows. And then I've had students in my life that honestly, that were a royal pain in the ass. And I said, okay, I would allow these people to be around me because I wanted to learn how to love them unconditionally. I mean, those people were enormous pieces in the puzzle of my growth. Being able to do that, learning how to do that. And enormous pieces in that puzzle that allowed me to see that everybody and everything in life is one's teacher. And then there's another element to this. If people, are like vampires and they're trying to eat you alive, and they're trying to consume all your energy, and and they don't give anything in the situation, then there's a great word in the English, Spanish, Portuguese, and French language. No, you don't have to have that in your life. If they happen to be your mother or your child, yes, you have to have that in your life. And you have to get big enough to be able to support it. But there are lots of people in the world that live like vampires. They just consume everybody's energy. And they give nothing in return. Those kind of people you can say no to. You can walk away from and say, I don't need this in my life. I have learned whatever I can learn from them, and I can move on. And I've done that with any number of people in my life. I just said, no, it's finished. I cannot do this anymore. And that taught me an amazing thing also, how to say no, how not to let anybody shit all over me. And just to get back, to finish this, look, as you develop a chakra system inside, it gives you consciousness and the ability to make these kind of choices. It's just an extension of a really strong inner life that enables you to do the kind of things I talk about. And then you do them with ease, with grace, with, not with anger, with, screaming and yelling at people, Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there will be meditation tomorrow evening, same time. And God bless you all. Thank you. And in all humility, I cannot tell you how grateful I am to be sitting here and doing this. You all, in every way, are my teachers. And I'm just very grateful that I can sit here and learn what I have to learn to grow in my spiritual life. And because all of you are present, it makes it possible for us to do this. So bless you all. And I hope to see you all soon, and have a wonderful evening wherever you are. God bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Love you.
Enjoy your trip.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night.
Buenas noches.